Welcome in, Thursday edition, Bruce Hooley Show. There's some good news at the start of the program. Columbus police have in custody the three monsters who quite likely are responsible for the death of 29-year-old single mom Alexis Stakely. You remember her, the 6-year-old son sleeping in the back seat of her Honda when she went back to the babysitter's front door to gather his belongings after midnight less than 2 weeks ago. And since we treat car thefts in Columbus like shoplifting, maybe we treat shoplifting more seriously. They tried to steal her car. They were looking for a car to steal. And Alexis Stakely did what any mom would do. She ran to protect her son. She was hit by the car as the three tried to pull off their crime, and she died. Well, all three are in custody. Two of them are juveniles. Shocker, right? Oh, not a shocker. You remember, because you've listened to this show for the last 3 years, where at intervening times we have talked about the stupidity of Franklin County juvenile court judges protesting Columbus police coming up with an initiative to try to stop juvenile car theft in Columbus. When you send the message you don't take something seriously, then you get more of it, and you also get more crimes above stealing cars, including the murder of a single mom. It is the principle of sowing and reaping. It applies to everything in life. And I just wish the son of Alexis Stakely, I wish her relatives, her family, could sue Franklin County Juvenile Court Judge Kim A. Brown with an E on the end, and the other juvenile court judges who signed that letter protesting Operation Game Over from Columbus Police. I wish they could sue Kim Brown into oblivion for her role in allowing car thefts in this city to proliferate. We'll have more on that. A 19-year-old and two juveniles, and of course the Dispatch won't name the juveniles because we got to protect them. Also, LifeWise Academy still under attack by the insane television media in this town and by a very few insignificant number of protesters. But of course, guess who NBC4i wrote about? That's right, the 20 protesters, not the hundreds of people inside a church who volunteer their time to help kids learn about things that, if they become out of control, will absolutely ruin our schools. Fruits of the Holy Spirit like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness. Can't have that run amok. And we also cannot have a president who puts any kind of competence into his position as the leader of the free world. If you watched Joe Biden last night, you saw a wooden, feeble excuse for a president. And it's probably not a coincidence that in the immediate hours or minutes before he spoke, Russia and China each flew two jets precariously close to U.S. airspace in Alaska. They're testing us. And why would they be testing us? Because when Joe Biden speaks and the teleprompter is functioning and the lighting in the room is good and he's not struggling to read it, he's just struggling. He sounds like this. Oh, that's not him. That is not him. My apologies. I had my cursor on the wrong screen, and that's what happens when you have your cursor on the wrong screen. But when Joe Biden is struggling, he sounds like this. Oh, now I got the sound down. This is a disaster. All right, I'm going to get off this. I got too many Kamala Harris clips up. That's what's going on. Now, hold on. We'll get Joe Biden position for you because you got to hear this. You got to hear what Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin hear when they hear Joe Biden talk. Imagine you're sitting in the Kremlin, you're sitting in Beijing, and this is the U.S. president coming on the air. He's going to speak from the Oval Office. This is serious. He's only done it a couple of times. He's going to come out. He's going to explain why he's dropping out of the race. He's going to set a vision for the future. He's going to calm America, and he's going to send a message the world leaders, don't you get any ideas, like maybe flying jets off the coast of Alaska. And Joe Biden sounds like this.
The American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known. I'd like to thank our great Vice President Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country. Now the choice is up to you, the American people.
Okay, so we got the Kamala Harris. She's been a great partner to me. She called me a racist, after all, when we were both running for president. I mean, that's really helped me. This guy is so inept, so unable to do his job as president of the United States. And that's not a partisan viewpoint. That is a practical viewpoint. It is a viewpoint grounded in the fact that when we project weakness on the world stage, then our enemies are emboldened and our safety is endangered. Did you see what happened in Washington, D.C. yesterday when Benjamin Netanyahu addressed Congress? Did you see the anarchy and violence and disrespect of our nation on display as Hamas protesters burned American flags? And you will hear today, just wait for it, when Donald Trump goes on Fox this morning and says that if you burn the American flag, well, this is what Trump said. Take a listen.
I think you should get a 1-year jail sentence if you do anything to desecrate the American flag. Now, people will say, oh, it's unconstitutional. Those are stupid people. Those are stupid people that say that. We have to work in Congress to get a 1-year jail sentence when they're allowed to stomp on the flag and put lighter fluid on the flag and set it afire. And when you're allowed to do that, you get a 1-year jail sentence and you'll never see it again. And all over the world, Putin and President Xi of China, all over the world, they're watching this. Kim Jong-un, he looks at us like we're a bunch of babies.
Now, wait for it. In fact, it's probably going on right now on The View. Trump wants to give a 1-year jail sentence to people who desecrate the American flag, and the Supreme Court has ruled multiple times that you can burn the American flag and it's not a crime. That is true if you buy your own American flag. It is not true if you lower a flag in Union Station in Washington, D.C., which is federal property, and you do not own because you did not purchase that flag, and then you burn that flag. You know what that's called? That's called destruction of federal property. That's what that's called. You cannot just go grab someone else's or a state or government entity's flag and burn it and be spared the penalty for that crime by the U.S. Constitution. But as Trump said, the people who say that that's not a crime are stupid people. And they're not just stupid people. They're people who hate our country. Did you see what they scrawled on the monuments at Union Station? Hamas is coming. I beg to differ. Hamas is already here. Hamas is here in force. Hamas is funding the protests on college campuses. Hamas is held deeply within the hearts of Democrats and government officials who populate the DOJ and the FBI. Remember the effort that was undertaken to identify and find and prosecute January 6th protesters? And you know what? If they broke the law, if they committed assault, okay, I can deal with your January 6th ardor to prosecute if you would use the same kind of motivation to pursue people who are clearly identifiable on tape. Some of them are wearing Hamas scarves, but a lot of them aren't. There are clear views of people who did many things yesterday outside the Capitol while Netanyahu was speaking that are criminal acts. A few of them were taken into custody, I think 23. They were released this morning, and their comrades, that's not dangerous, cheered them as they were released. But many others, people painting monuments, people defacing the Liberty Bell, which is obviously not the real one because the Liberty Bell is in Philadelphia, but there's another Liberty Bell facsimile in Washington, D.C., and they were defacing that. They won't be charged. Hamas is already here. October 7th, what happened in Israel, what Netanyahu was speaking about yesterday, has given us a clear picture of where a large portion of the Democratic Party stands in regard to Israel and U.S. relations. They back the terrorists.
Periods of clouds and sun for the afternoon are high today at 84. Clear to
screwed that sound up
tonight and below 61. Mostly sunny, less humid.
Sorry about the sound mistake. That's a
tomorrow at 82. And then sunny skies.
too many irons in the fire mistake there.
89. Clouds, a thunder shower in spots on Sunday with a high of 90. Morning rain and a thunderstorm for Monday. Otherwise cloudy, the high Monday 84. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-458-9469. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469.
You'll sleep better knowing you got a great deal on a great mattress because you got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet toward any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
Mattress Outlet.
War has played a key role in the history of the United States, from the nation's founding right down to the present. Wars made the United States independent, kept it together, increased its size.
So I'm with the marvelous Linda Sarsour, who is really keeping us energized with her.
But this progress is because of you. Your work is not in vain. Stay outside, stay disruptive. The fact that Kamala is not presiding over Netanyahu's speech is also because of our...
With future options, make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with your host Rick Hughes every Sunday morning at 8 here on 98.9 FM, The Answer. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Ralph Drollinger, the founder and president of Capital Ministries. I have the privilege of leading the Senate and House member Bible studies in Washington, D.C. every week. And I'm also the host of the new weekly radio program heard here on this station called Capital Ministries Weekend. I invite you to listen along every week as we discuss the crossroads between what the Bible says and political thought for today.
Listen to Capital Ministries Weekend, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on 98.9 FM The Answer. There's a threat targeting America, Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, this dangerous disease can cause life-changing health problems and is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. So it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside and seeing a doctor if you experience the warning signs, which can include joint pain and flu-like symptoms. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Novel concept, right? Buying from an outlet store? Not really. I mean, you can go to Delaware, you can drive a little bit south towards Cincinnati, you can find outlet stores all over the place. of course, that is something you are used to doing and maybe even prioritize doing. So if I could steer you to an outlet store of sorts online where you could shop and have the merchandise shipped directly to you, and you could save money and also take a bite out of stores like Target, Walmart, those that were prioritized and favored during the pandemic while little stores were shut down, would you be interested? What if you could get those products at a 35 to 50% discount? And what if they were products you were already buying and paying too much for, and that the products you're buying now are unhealthy for you because they have benzenes and toxins and nitrates and other things in them, but the new products don't because they're made from plants? Well, all of that is true, and you can leave your information at patriotswitch.com/Bruce. The manufacturer is the store. Annual memberships are $1 till the end of the month. You will save, you will love it, and you will strike a blow against woke capitalism. Do it today. patriotswitch.com/Bruce, patriotswitch.com/Bruce. I'm not a national security expert. I'm not a Bible expert, but I read the headlines and I read my Bible and I pray and I try to give you my best assessment of what the headlines mean through the prism of truth, and truth is only found in the Bible. So Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, was speaking before a joint session of Congress yesterday. How many? Let me see. More than 100 House Democrats and 28 Democratic senators were in attendance. 100. So about half the House Democratic caucus and a little more than half the Democratic senators were in attendance for a foreign leader of a U.S. ally, our only ally in the Middle East, and nearly half of the Democrats elected by the people of the United States of America showed up to hear him speak. They did not want to be on camera, being seen applauding or not applauding anything Netanyahu said, because it would anger their voting base. It would anger the hundreds to thousands of protesters who were outside the Capitol, wreaking mayhem, burning flags, defacing monuments. And Benjamin Netanyahu made a good point in his speech. He talked about the people who support Hamas when they chant from the river to the sea. They don't know what river, they don't know what sea. And that people who do that, he had a term for. Here he is explaining what he means.
For all we know, Iran is funding the anti-Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building. Not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. You have officially become Iran's useful idiots.
Yeah, 100%. Like queers for Palestine. You know this, but if you as a conservative know this because you're informed, members of the LGBTQ community apparently don't know this, that if they were outwardly, boldly LGBTQ in any Arab nation, maybe not any, but most Arab nations, you'd be killed. You'd be killed. Now, that's the extreme end of the useful idiot scale. There are other members of the useful idiots who are not as extreme, but they are nevertheless idiots. Here's one of them. Senator from Vermont, Peter Welch.
I was somewhat disappointed because we need a path forward. You know, we understand where we've been, but how we get to a new place where there's peace and stability. I was waiting to hear the roadmap, and I was disappointed there wasn't one.
So Peter Welch wants a path forward in the Israel-Hamas war. He says he understands where we've been. Do you, Peter Welch? Do you remember babies being burned in ovens, families being murdered, parents being murdered in front of their children, hostages taken. 8 of those hostages were Americans. Are they all 8 still alive? We don't know. We don't even mention them. Peter Welch isn't concerned about them at all. He's concerned about a new place. He wants to get to a new place. This strikes me as the same as if you tuned into your, let's say, favorite baseball team. And you get there in the middle of the game, and it's the 5th inning, and the score is 10-0 in favor of the opponent. And you notice that your team has a relief pitcher in the game. And your reaction to that is, man, our bullpen really stinks. We're down 10-0 in the 5th inning. That's the Democrats' approach to this. See, if you had any savvy, any understanding, you're watching a baseball game and you're down 10-0 in the 5th inning, your reaction should be, man, our starter got lit up, forcing our bullpen to come into the game. But no, Democrats are like, wow, there are dead people in Gaza. Israel's mean. Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. That's the sign Rashida Tlaib was holding yesterday in the House chamber. They want to look at what Israel's done in the middle of the game after Israel was attacked in violation of the ceasefire that they now want to impose on Israel so that Hamas can remain in place, so that Hamas can remain dedicated to eradicating Israel from the face of the earth. Now, that's horrific enough. But of all the sound bites I'm going to play for you today, none is more consequential than this soundbite from Ariel Lightstone. Ariel Lightstone is a former senior advisor to the U.S. ambassador to Israel, David Friedman. He makes a point about Israel that is not only insightful, it is also biblical. Listen to this.
I was somewhat disappointed.
Oh, that's Peter Welch again. Sorry, that's Peter Welch again. We've heard enough from him. Forgot to close him out. Here's Ariel Lightstone. I'm bad on the audio today. Here's Ariel Lightstone.
As much as they love America, they cannot stand the lack of moral clarity that we have evidenced over these last 4 years, which is promising to be far worse under a Harris administration. And they will go to Beijing, who they do not want to be lifelong partners with, but at least they can believe where they will be in 20 years from now. And they certainly cannot say the same thing about a Harris administration.
So he's talking about Israel's response to its future security. And he's talking about, as much as they love the United States, they need the certainty that their ally will be an ally. And that is not how the United States has acted under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And what does he say Israel will do if they can't count on the United States?
Promising to be far worse under a Harris administration. And they will go to Beijing, who they do not want to be lifelong partners with, but at least they can believe where they will be in 20 years from now. And they certainly cannot say the same thing about a Harris administration.
If you know anything about the book of Revelation, and you know anything about Israel and God's view of Israel and the fact that Israel will survive to the end, I've said many times, if you're not on Israel's side, you're on the wrong side, and that you will be punished. Anyone who does not come to the aid of Israel will be punished. If the United States of America chooses that tack, and Israel does indeed go to China, then a lot of things that are written in the book of Revelation start to make a lot of sense and could happen in a hurry.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Biden says he has no plans of being a lame duck during his remaining month.
In Houston, Texas. Again, she will not be going to the border in that state. Senator Ted Cruz and I spent some time on why that would be necessary. And now we're waiting for the vice president to step to the podium. We have been told that this is a White House type of speech. This is not a campaign speech. We'll see. We'll watch a little bit of it. I'm going to ask my team to just kind of stand by with me as she takes the podium. And here she is.
Just captured on October 7th. Things are booming on Wall Street today after big losses yesterday. Right now, the Dow is up by 255 points. The NASDAQ up by about 36. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve.
His mission used to be to protect and serve. Now he's on a mission to serve God, to be the voice of for people. He's Brandon Tatum, and you can hear him weeknights from 8 to 11 on the Officer Tatum Show on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
For over 30 years, the Gentle Dentist has been making patients smile.
It was everything they advertised. The staff were courteous, professional, knowledgeable, and best of all, they treat you like a person, not a number. They listen to your concerns and tell you what they're doing throughout the appointment. They make every effort to make you as comfortable as possible. I would highly recommend the Gentle Dentist.
How can we make you smile? The Gentle Dentist. Call 614-431-3311.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne,
And I'm Danica Bourne.
and we're the owners of South Coast Tax.
We started our company 10 years ago in an effort to help our fellow Christians experiencing tax issues resolve their matters by taking a simple 3-step approach.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys that specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We're the leaders in acceptance of offers of compromise with awesome results. We're also a small firm who will treat you like family, not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
Man, summer has really gone by quickly, has it not? And back to school is just around the corner, and there may have been a lot of things that you intended to do to your home that you didn't get to. You had vacation, you had pressing matters, but you still have time to beautify your home with beautiful new flooring. All you need to do is go to brucehooley.com, click on the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner of the page, reach out to me, and I will come to your home, measure your space. We'll talk about some of the things that I talk about here on the show. I love getting to know you in that fashion, and I love getting the flooring in your home faster and saving you money over what you would pay from a big box store. What about selection? We have all the major brands that you will find at any other big box store, and I can explain to you then why we can sell them to you for less. Might have a little something to do with our lack of mid-level management and all the fancy vehicles and high rent locations where they are located. BruceHooley.com, flooring tab, upper right-hand corner of the page. BruceHooley.com, flooring tab, upper right-hand corner of the page. We will have Matt Mayer, OpportunityOhio.org, with us at 12:05 today. We look forward to that. Details upcoming in the next segment on the arrests of the 3 individuals responsible for the murder of Alexa Stakely. Oh, murder's a little harsh, isn't it, Bruce? I mean, it's kind of an accident. No, they were trying to steal her car. They are charged, 2 of them at least, with murder. But, you know, in this justice system, in this city, is anybody confident that they will do the time that many of you recommended to me on Twitter when I asked today, what should happen to these juveniles and to this 19-year-old responsible for the death of Alexa Stakely, a single mom who got off work at her waitressing job at Roosters on Henderson Road, picked up her son at a babysitter, put him in the back seat asleep. It's after midnight. She leaves the car running. He is asleep inside. She goes to the door to get his belongings, and these kids try to steal her car. She runs out to save her son. They hit her. She ends up dead. What should happen to them? The responses that I've received from you say life in prison. Some of you say life in prison for the juveniles and for the parents. I mean, honestly, I was shocked that, one of them had parents. I really was shocked. 2 parents. That's an outlier in many areas of our city. Joe Biden last night at the White House giving a speech that's supposed to, I guess, settle everybody down. I'm in charge here. I'm fine. Yes, I had COVID, and yes, I can barely talk, and you haven't seen me for the better part of a week, but I'm fine. Everything's great. Didn't sound great, though. Didn't sound great at all. Maybe I'm making an editorial judgment because I don't like Joe Biden. You see what you think.
So I decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation. There is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now.
Oh, it's convenient. That time and place is now, isn't it? For how many months, years have we heard? I'm not too old. The only thing that comes with age is a little bit of wisdom. Which is wrong because it shows how stupid he is that he thinks wisdom automatically comes with age. The only thing that comes with age is age. Joe Biden will go out as president the way he has been president, the way he has been as a government grifter for 54 years, as a liar, as a self-important gas bag whose ego has always dwarfed his capacity to accomplish anything. He's still preaching, democracy is at stake. He said that the border has never been more secure, that he had less people coming in from on the border on his watch than on Donald Trump's watch, which is a blatant lie. He again claimed he's created 16 million new jobs. Never mind that those jobs are jobs that were simply the result of turning the economy back on after it was stupidly shut down during COVID, which he perpetuated unnecessarily so, kept schools closed. And of course, now Kamala Harris is the greatest thing ever. This is not going to be portrayed as the political humiliation that it is. It is going to be portrayed as heroic. But I remember when Simone Biles quit in the Olympics, and we portrayed that as heroic, because if you wear the right costume, a blue costume, a Democratic costume, then everything you do is heroic. But if you wear the wrong costume, well, then everything you do is extreme. And if you dare protest Kamala Harris, if you dare point out that Kamala Harris is a failure and someone who has reached the top by methods other than her own meritocracy, well, then you are racist, and then you are sexist. Axios has joined in the chorus of liars, writing an updated and clarified story yesterday. Axios, declaring that its own 2021 report was incorrect. What did that 2021 report say? It said that President Joe Biden had appointed Kamala Harris as border czar. I wonder how this went over with Steph Kite, who you see on Special Report with Brett Baer periodically. Steph Kite wrote the original Axios story and yesterday had to write the correction to her story, which said that Republicans are falsely labeling Kamala Harris the border czar in an attempt to unfairly tie her to Biden's failures at the U.S.-Mexico border now that she is the Democrats' de facto 2024 nominee. Steph Kite is, of course, not alone in this lie, but I wonder, in fact, I think I will tweet this to Special Report and Brett Baer. I would encourage you to do the same. Just ask a question. Will you ask Steph Kite the next time she is on Special Report about her correcting her own story from 3 years ago, where we have multiple instances of other reporters, of Joe Biden. I got it around here somewhere. What did I do with it? The official, I have the official White House transcript. You know, everything you do at the White House, they put it out on transcript so everybody can read it. I have the official White House transcript. Here it is, right here. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. It is entitled, you can see it, Remarks by President Biden and Vice President Harris in a Meeting on Immigration, March 24th, 2021. And Joe Biden, in these remarks, says that he is appointing Kamala Harris as the border czar. And she says, well, thank you, Mr. President, for having the confidence in me. There's no question that this is a challenging situation. As the president has said, there are many factors that lead to the precedent of people leaving these countries. And we are clear that people should not come to the border now. We also understand we will enforce the law, and we will also, because we can chew gum and walk at the same time, must address the root causes that cause people to make the trek. She was not only named the border czar, she commented extensively about it from the official White House transcript. Yet right now we are told that never happened. None of it ever happened. You imagined it. We are all, again, insulted not only by the fact that they say it, but by the fact that they think we are stupid enough to believe it. Kamala Harris, do you know where she is right now? Right at this very second. As I'm speaking, I'm watching her. You know where she is? She's in Houston, Texas. Is she down there to get her hands around the border crisis, take the starch out of Republicans' attacks on her for failing at the border? Of course not. She is at the American Federation of Teachers convention, hugged by Randy Weingarten, no doubt spouting her Kamala Harris nonsense about they're our children. They're not the parents' children. They're our children. In fact, let's do a little live test right here on the Bruce Hooley Show. Let me put a clock on this. She's stepping to the podium. How long can I endure her cackling, nasally, annoying voice before I have to bail? All right, enough hand wringing. Here we go. Oh, she's milking the applause. Still milking it 15 seconds later. Still milking it. Still hasn't talked. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you so very much. Yeah, no, we don't want to hear it for Brittany. It's about to my limit. Sorry. Can't do it anymore. When she starts talking about Randy Weingarten being an incredible ally to the president, she's not lying there. Very odd. She is telling the truth there because Randy Weingarten has been an ally to the president. Not to parents, though. Not to students keeping schools closed. Randy Weingarten hasn't been an ally to anybody that she's supposed to serve as a president of the American Federation of Teachers.
Periods of clouds and sun for the afternoon. Our high today at 84. Clear to partly cloudy for tonight and a low 61. Mostly sunny, less humid. Terrific day tomorrow. High tomorrow at 82. And then sunny skies on Saturday, a little bit warmer, the high 89. Clouds, a thunder shower in spots on Sunday with a high of 90. Morning rain and a thunderstorm for Monday. Otherwise cloudy, the high Monday 84. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Are you struggling to lose weight, exhausted by noon, or battling a chronic illness that traditional medicine is failing to find the cause to? You're not alone. At 35, I found myself depressed, exhausted, angry, and seldom having normal bowel movements. It wasn't until my wife and I found Revive Metabolics that I received real answers and real results. You see, traditional testing looks to treat the symptom with more medication, but with Revive Metabolics, we test for over 109 different metabolic pathways seeking to find where the glitch might be. With customized nutrition, supplementation,
and lifestyle protocols, we allow your body to heal the way that it was intended. To schedule your free phone metabolics consult, call us at 614-781-8808 or visit revivemetabolics.com. That's revive, METABOLIX.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're a business owner and a listener to The Answer, you might not realize that the conservative news and talk content that you enjoy is advertiser supported. Our loyal audience loves to do business with the advertisers who make our programming possible. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some advertisers who avoid The Answer because they don't like what we do here. That's their loss because our listeners are eager to support advertisers who support our conservative programming. To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, please contact me at 614-318-0401 or click on How to Advertise at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com. And remember, when you advertise on 989 The Answer, our loyal audience know that you care about our programming as much as they do.
Riverbend Ranch steaks are the steaks you should buy if you want to buy great steak, because they grade steaks according to USDA standards, and the highest standards are choice and prime. Those are the only steaks that Riverbend Ranch Steaks sell to you when you go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So if you like your steaks rated as high as the USDA can rate them, and by the way, you like your steaks without hormones or antibiotics, because if you're going to pay for a great steak, you want to know that it doesn't have anything in it that's going to be bad for you. Well, then that's another reason to go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley and pick your bundle. You mean I get a choice of what kind of steaks? Yes. Filet mignon, my personal favorite, New York strip, ribeye steaks, or just plain old awesome ground beef. Yes, they have it all, Riverbend Ranch Steaks. It's a real ranch, and you can find out more when you go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley, riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So it is a rarity when we have a horrific crime in Columbus that the parents of the juvenile involved, if the juvenile is a perpetrator, step up and do the right thing. I don't know the name because his name has not been reported yet, of the 16-year-old who attempted to steal Alexa Stakely's car and then panicked when she came out to save her son who was sleeping in the back. I don't know his name, but his parents are a rarity in Columbus because, according to Sergeant Joe Albert with the Columbus Police Department, the teenager turned himself in after hearing his parents talk about the tragedy. And then he went to his parents and confessed his involvement in the crime. And his parents encouraged him to step forward. Otherwise, much like the murder of Micaiah Bryant, the murder of Olivia Kurtz, many other murders of young people in Central Ohio, this case could have very easily gone unsolved. So when the 16-year-old went in, he apparently then identified his accomplices, which included another 16-year-old and a 19-year-old by the name of Gerald Dowling Jr. Now, the two 16-year-olds are from the Canal Winchester area, while Mr. Dowling resides in Dublin. The 16-year-old who attempted to steal the car and drove the car did so when Alexa Stakely came out after trying to retrieve her son's belongings from the babysitter. She had left her son in the car sleeping after retrieving him from the babysitter following her getting off her shift working at Roosters on Henderson Road. She's a 29-year-old single mom, a master's degree holder, a speech pathology teacher in the Canal Winchester school system, beloved by her students who will, if they don't know why she's not there, find out when they report back to school. I've railed on this a million times. You guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but it is yet another demonstration, as if you needed more proof, that if you do not punish crimes, and I'm not beginning to insinuate that stealing a car is a low-level crime, but if you do not punish crime at a lower level, you will get more of that low-level crime by others. And then the people who are doing the, whatever it is, low-level crime, mid-level crime, high-level crime, and I would classify car theft as a high-level crime already, but then there's highest-level crime, which is murder. And this 16-year-old is going to be charged with, I think, a delinquency count of murder. So is the 19-year-old Gerald Dowling. The second male, the dispatch reports that he's 17 years old. Charges are not specified against him. But this is a direct result of the lack of interest. In fact, more than the lack of interest, the complete disinterest of the judges who you elect to hold criminals accountable, juvenile criminals accountable, to get their arms around these kids' bad decisions early in their life so they don't escalate to bigger and worse decisions later on in life. This death of Alexa Stakely is a direct result of the juvenile judges in this town not doing what you elect them to do, which is inflict punishment for crime. There is only one cure for crime on a mass level like we see in Columbus with 10,000 car thefts a year. And the only cure, sure, you can get to one kid maybe by talking to him. Hey, this is serious. You're going to go down this road, scared straight, all that great program. I'm for anything that gets a lick of sense into the brains of these kids. But on a mass level, the only thing that works as a deterrent to huge amounts of crime is punishment. That's the only thing that works. Our American justice system is founded upon this principle. It's why we have prisons all over the United States of America. What is the principle of a prison? A prison is there to take away what? Your freedom, to make what? Your life unpleasant, to communicate a message, which is what? Which is, if I didn't do what earned me admittance to this prison, which is taking away my freedom and making my life unpleasant, then maybe I would have my freedom and my life would be more pleasant on the outside. And so maybe I should what? Stop doing what it was that caused me to be placed against my will into this prison. That is the principle that works. It works everywhere. It has worked in every society since the start of mankind. But we now have here in our city and in other cities around Ohio, because of who knows what, woke policies, progressive policies, Marxist policies, communist policies. Oh, we can't punish crime because, oh, look, he grew up in a tough circumstance, so he had to resort to crime. That is a lie. It is an utter lie. It is a lie peddled by a lot of people who have power. It is being peddled by Kamala Harris. It will be peddled by Kamala Harris. It is peddled by bail reform people. It is peddled by no cash bail people. It is peddled by progressive prosecutors, of which we have one here in this city, in Gary Tyack, in this county, rather, in this city with Zach Klein. It does not work. You reap what you sow. You get what you sow later than you sow it, more than you sow. That's a principle that is biblical. So you know it is grounded in truth, and you see it play out before you all the time. Now, there's another crime story in Columbus today that is getting less attention. And I was initially surprised by this, but then I figured it out. Remember the guy who peed on the pride flag? And they were going to throw the book at this guy? He was charged with ethnic intimidation, criminal mischief, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. So get this straight. You can take down a flag in Union Station, federal property, a federally owned flag in Union Station. You can burn it on camera, squirt lighter fluid on it, set it on fire, burn it. You're not charged with destruction of federal property. And if you missed the early portion of the show, yes, I know you're allowed to burn the American flag if you own the flag and don't endanger others. You set fire in a crowd of people, you can certainly make the argument that endangers others. And you can be correct in the argument that you don't own that flag, you can't burn it. It's a federal flag. But there is a flag that you can't touch, ever. And that's the pride flag. You can't skid on a pride crosswalk. So that flag is untouchable. But this guy, Trey Fetzer, 21, former Ohio State student, will not be going to jail. And the other charges against him have been dismissed. He pleaded guilty to criminal trespass, a 4th-degree misdemeanor. Now, why? Why did he get away with this? Because he jumped through all the hoops that he was told to jump through. The video from the doorbell at the home where the pride flag was shows that Mr. Fetzer and his accomplice that night are black. I don't know if that played into this or not. But here's what I do know. I have a friend who lives in Victorian Village. He's Jewish. He has approached Ohio State, both senators in the state of Ohio, his U.S. congressional representative, city council, trying to get satisfaction for the harassment that he has undergone since October the 7th. He's getting nowhere. His Israeli flag has been damaged, has been stolen.
Role in the history of the United States, from the nation's founding right down to the present. Wars made the United States independent, kept it together, increased its size, and established it as a global superpower. Hi, I'm James Earl, host of the Key Battles of American History podcast. In each episode, I discuss American history through the lens of the most important battles of America's wars. To start listening now, go to parthenonpodcast.com or search Key Battles of American History on your favorite podcasting hub.
Planning for retirement is no small task. If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday at 10 and 2 for Retire Ready Ohio. Rodney shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday, 10 and 2, Retire Ready Ohio, with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. Home business insurance services, investment advisory services are offered through Peters Wealth Group, a state-registered investment advisor.
Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Wow, good audience today. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And you can watch the second hour of the show at the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page or at the 989 The Answer Facebook page. I appreciate your time and attention today. Have a great day.
The gross domestic product